Hey Internet, this is Toilet Munker back again after a long time not being back. Anyway, I decided a few days ago to check out the phenomenon that's sweeping Japan, known as Yokai Watch. Um, and I'm watching the English dub because it's one of those monster collecting TV shows, um, based on a video game, very similar to like Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever. So I figured if I'm gonna watch it, I should watch it the way that I would have watched it 10, 11, 12 years ago if it were on at that time. And yeah, the English dub. I feel like that's the most. I don't know. The subs versus dubs thing, sometimes you get a more authentic experience by watching subs, but for shows like that, it's like, I don't know. It gives me a little extra layer of nostalgia or whatever to watch it in dubbed, so that's what I did. And it's pretty clearly dubbed because they've done the weird thing that anime did in like the early 2000s. Actually, I'd say more like mid 2000s, like 2007-ish era, whatever. Um, where they changed the theme song to a rap, or at least part of the theme song to a rap. It's sort of weird. It like I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it starts out with this like goofy little beat, and then it goes into a rap, and then it goes into this weird like traditional Japanese sounding music, like na 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 na, like, and then it goes back to the quirky little thing from the beginning. Very strange theme song. I don't see people singing it at conventions or remembering it to nearly the same extent that people remember like the Pokemon theme or even the Digimon theme, repetitive as it may be. It still sticks in your head and follows a consistent style. But enough about that. The show itself. Is it good? Is it bad? I think it's pretty good. Basic concept. The game gets a lot of comparison to Pokemon. I don't know about the game. Um, Game hasn't been released in North America yet. I've seen a couple trailers and things. Um, I'd say the anime is actually more similar to Digimon, though. And particularly Digimon Fusion, the latest season, because it has the same sort of formula of this kid. In this case, it's a guy named Nate. Um, has one yokai spirit monster that's like his main companion. His name's Whisper. And then he has a bunch of other ones that he can summon using his Yokai Watch. Yeah, there we go. Yokai Watch. This is just a regular watch, but you know, I didn't even plan that. That I just happened to be wearing a watch while I filmed this. Anyway, but yeah, he has one main monster and then a bunch of little sub monsters. But unlike Pokemon or Digimon, I think it's different in the game. The game seems to put a bit more emphasis on battle, but there's not a whole lot of actual battle in this. So I guess I should backtrack and say what yokai actually are. I mean, they're the main monsters of this series. I'm sure you could have figured that out, but it's kind of an interesting concept. They are little spirit things. and they have different effects on the human world and things that we experience in our day-to-day lives. So, for example, when Nate's parents are having an argument for no reason, it's because there's a yokai in the room called Dismerelda that's causing this argument. And that's like her power. She causes it just by being there. And there are other ones that have to like actually like attack or use some sort of power to make the effect happen. Like there's one called Tattletale that'll like latch onto your neck and make you like dispel secrets that you wouldn't otherwise say. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting concept. Oh yeah, and Dismerelda, she's married to Happy Air, who has sort of the opposite effect. He makes people really happy for no reason. So usually they're in the room together and they cancel each other out. I thought that was pretty clever. But yeah, so there are these monsters that have weird effects on the world around them. And Whisper, who's he's Nate's main yokai, but he's sort of like a butler, and he tells Nate information about all of the yokai or whatever. He always says negotiation or confrontation, which are the two options for dealing with yokai, and Nate almost always goes for negotiation. He'll try to talk to whatever yokai is causing the problem, and really, they just basically every episode. There are only 4 episodes out at this point that I'm recording this. He just figures out a solution to the problem and then befriends the yokai and gets a little token which allows him to summon that yokai whenever he wants. And sometimes he'll need to use those tokens when he's dealing with another yokai. He thinks, oh, well, I can't think of anything of how to deal with this. Whisper can't think of anything. I'm gonna summon one of my yokai and then see if they would work well. Or the example I gave before with Tattletale. If a yokai is like, I'm only doing this because of my dark past, but I don't want to tell you, you can summon Tattletale, and then Tattletale will grab onto their neck, and then they will tell whatever backstory they have, and Nate will then know what to do because he knows that backstory. It's pretty interesting. It's definitely a lot more original than people give it credit for. Because when I first heard of Yokai Watch, I was like, oh, it's the next Pokemon. It's not really that much like Pokemon. At least the anime isn't. So, yeah, overall, it's pretty good. There are a couple of weird things about it. The theme song, for one. The ending song's weird, too. It's like this CGI dance party thing. It's entertaining, but for sort of a, like, reason and not for, like, oh, yeah, that's a pretty cool reason. That's just like, what even is this? And I think there are a couple, like, cultural things that affect this show. Like, I don't know, there's one episode where Nate goes to the bathroom and takes a poo and then comes out of the bathroom and his like love interest person sees him do that, and then he's super embarrassed about it. And because Tattletale's like around her neck, she tells people like, oh hey, Nate just took a big stinky poo. Which I could understand that being embarrassing or whatever, but like he is running around the town like trying to stop his reputation. She's spreading it like a rumor. People poop, like, and that's what the bathroom is for. If someone spread a rumor about me pooping in the bathroom at a school while I attended that school, I don't think anyone would care. It's like, yeah, that's what you do in the bathroom. That's what they're there for. So yeah, I don't know if that's like a cultural thing or what, but I thought that was pretty weird. Um, there have been some good jokes in Yokai Watch. I liked a lot of the scenes in the Tattletale episode. Um, weirdly enough, same episode. Um, where like they were doing an investigation, like there were police investigating like a suspect for a crime, and they're like, "Oh, where did you hide the money?" And then it's like, "I'll never tell you." And then Tattletale comes around his neck, like, "Oh, it's under the bleachers." It was a pretty funny moment. So yeah, I give him props for that. I really like oh, what's it? A Mangamut. It's a human-faced dog. That's the other thing about yokai is a lot of them are based off of people or animals, and that's not just a coincidence. Since they're spirits, a lot of them, like, if they look like an animal, they probably were that animal in the past life. It's pretty cool. But yeah, Mangamut's backstory, weirdly enough, is a human and a dog died at the same time, and so their spirit form like fused together in this thing called Mangamut, who has the body of a toy poodle and the face of a middle-aged man. Um, it's just a bizarre looking character, and I think he's pretty funny just for how absurd he is. He gets arrested for freaking people out. Just, he's one of the few yokai that everyone can see. Most of them you need to have the watch for. You need to yeah. But everyone can see him. Apparently, according to Whisper, it's because he's so powerful. And he tries to open up a hair salon to attract the ladies, but because he's part dog, his only customers are dogs, so he ends up shutting the business down and instead going to be a celebrity photographer because he hears that that gets the ladies. It's weird, but it's enjoyable. Um, Final point, Yokai Watch. Okay, no, not final point. I have a couple more points to make. There are a couple of like side human characters, like Nate's friends. There's the love interest, of course, and Whisper has a couple of funny lines about that. Like Nate'll say something like, "Oh, we need to stop this yokai right away." And Whisper's like, "Oh, you're not usually so enthusiastic about yokai. I bet you're just doing this so you can make out with I forget her name off the top of my head. Oh, Katie. I think her name's Katie. So you can make out with Katie and then be the hero." So that's pretty funny. But he has these two other friends, I guess. I don't know. They seem, one of them's like the big tough guy, and one of them seems like a short like crony for him. He's always wearing his headphones, but he has sort of like a mean face. They don't look like standard friend designs. Like they look like they'd be bullies, but he still like hangs out with them. I don't exactly know what's going on with that. Now, maybe they are really nice guys, but there is one episode where the kid with the headphones gets corrupted by a yokai and turns into, like, a bad kid. Um, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, he sort of looked the part anyway? I don't know. I haven't seen enough of their personalities to judge either way, really, but, judging by the cover, so hopefully they get developed more. Um, Oh, then there's also the fact that Nate didn't exactly want to be a yokai person. There's not really a title for it. Like in Pokemon or Digimon, usually, Ash wanted to be a Pokemon master, so when he got Pikachu, he was really excited, and then Pikachu dissipated, and then got the trust of Pikachu. Blah, blah, blah. Off topic, but he was excited, and then in Digimon, even though every season's a little bit different, the kids are usually excited to go on this journey, maybe a little confused at first. Nate straight up, like, he found Whisper in a vending machine, and Whisper was like, "Oh, I'm your wonderful prize. I get to be your servant forever." And Nate just straight up did not want anything to do with that. And then Whisper basically just, whenever Nate would walk off in the other direction, Whisper would follow behind, um, and be like, "Wait, I have to be your servant." And so Whisper basically forced himself upon Nate. And it wasn't until he actually got the Yokai Watch and learned that he could stop these weird incidents that were happening all throughout the town or whatever, that he actually started to care. Um, but still, like, even in, I shouldn't say the later episodes because there were only 4 episodes in English now, but even in, the episodes past episode 1, Nate will ask, like, "Do you ever leave me alone?" Like, I don't know, it's kind of funny. That's the other thing, is right now there's not really a goal to Yokai Watch. Like, Digimon, they were trying to save the world. Pokemon, um, you gotta get the badges and go to the Elite Four, blah, 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 blah. Yokai Watch, it's just, I guess, stop the yokai from messing with people, but that's like an episode by episode thing. There's not any sort of big thing in the grand scheme of things yet. I mean, maybe there will be, but they sort of hinted at it in episode 4, when Nate's like, "Oh, get a book full of all these medals. How many medals are there?" And Whisper is like, "Oh, you need to get the most powerful medals, and then you'll unlock blah, 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 blah." But, I don't know, it went by so fast, and it was kind of a throwaway line that it'll probably come back later, but I don't know. Oh, final point. This actually is my final point, and this is what I was going to say earlier. Yokai Watch has a mascot, Jibanyan. It's like a little red cat thing with like fire coming from its tail, and it has a prominent role in the intro. Um, but and it is the first yokai besides Whisper that Nate befriends, but I don't know. So far, like, it has appeared in 3 out of the 4 episodes that have come out so far in English. But it doesn't really seem to contribute that much to battle. It doesn't seem like there's anything particularly special about it than all the other yokai, but it still has like a really prominent role in the intro and in the ending, and I don't know. Maybe there's more to Jibanyan than meets the eyes, but for right now, I'm just kind of confused. It's like if Pokemon decided, okay, yeah, we're making Pikachu the mascot, but Ash has a Squirtle, and that Squirtle is like the main Pokemon that follows him around. He has a Pikachu on his team too, but he'll just show up from time to time. But we're still gonna put him front and center in the intro and in the outro. It just, I don't know. It seems like some weird dissonance to me. It seems like Whisper should have been the mascot instead. I guess Jibanyan's cuter. Eh. Yeah, we'll just see where the show goes. So far, pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. I'd say if you like if you like the Pokemon anime, if you like the Digimon anime, you should check out Yokai Watch. It's a good show. Toilet Monger out.